welcome to Firedog Studios VIP Showcase. Tonight we have with us Eryn Shewell and Pat Rue. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves and the band?
Well, yeah, I guess we are pretty much the band. That's it's changed a lot through the years. We've been doing this for about 6 years now, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, still going strong. I don't know. Pretty much we just been doing this full time, writing, traveling, doing what we can. Just trying to keep on going.
Now we've seen you guys play a couple times, and we actually had you at one of our showcase events at Roxy and Duke's. I think it was last fall, and the response was great. How's the response been? I know you just got back from New Orleans. How did that go? How was the response out there?
New Orleans is always a blast. We always do really well there. It's just a matter of getting enough gigs to make enough money to pay for the trip. We usually break out about even, but the people there are really respond well because they're into the music more than, they're more into like the original and hearing whatever you have to offer rather than just the cover band scene that we have here in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah, we could definitely relate to that. It's hard for original bands to there's not a lot of venues to do actually original music where it's, you get a nice big crowd. Usually you go out, you play, and the band before you that brought their 15 people walk out the door with their 15 people.
Yeah.
Or 20 people, or for us 5 and a dog. But whoever may have showed up usually stroll out. And the bartender.
I've had the bartender even leave sometimes.
Oh.
It's like, no one's here.
No one's here. I'm going to go out for a smoke.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the actual songwriting process, because that is the part that really intrigues me the most. Can you tell me a little bit about your approach to songwriting?
Well, actually, each song we write is different. Some songs will start with the lyrics, some will start with the music, some will be both of them together. So each song kind of has a different approach depending on the feel and mood of the song, depending on how whoever was inspired first and how we put it together.
Now, does that kind of dictate what you concentrate on most? Like, who wrote it first? Like, you play guitar, right?
Yeah.
Is that your primary instrument?
Yeah.
Besides your voice, of course. So, I mean, I know for myself as a guitarist, that's what I concentrate on. I'm always like work out some sort of guitar riff or something like that. But, you're the vocalist as well, so do you have like melodies floating around in your head and then you're like, ooh, this would be a cool song kind of thing?
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll write lyrics, and then when I read them, I'll hear a melody in my head. So I'll try to figure out the chords behind that, or Pat will figure out even better chords behind that. And and so a lot of times, if I figure it out, then I'll take it to him, and he'll make some adjustments and make it better.
Yeah.
Or he'll come up with like a piece of music, and then I'll try to feel what he's getting out of the music and write words to that, and just like arrange it around what he's got.
Cool.
So.
A lot of different approaches, yeah, I see. That works for you.
Pretty much any way we can, any way something happens,
Yeah.
There's no standard.
There's times that we're just sitting in the room drinking a bottle of wine, and we both come up with something at the same time.
Yeah, wine helps a lot.
Wine does help a lot.
Yeah.
Wine would help right now. We've written, what was it? I guess it was Relax to Sleep. We kind of like, he was coming up with the music as I was coming up, like literally writing down the lyrics at the same time. We just had like the same, like, I don't know. Yeah, and it just, sometimes they come together.
That's great. No, usually we hand out bottles of wine to our audience so that, makes it.
I tell you, just everybody gets a little looser and we'll start having a lot more fun, Ideas start flowing.
Do you feel it's an easy process for you, like as a songwriter, or you said you've been doing this for 6 years? Has it been a labor of love? Has it been highs and lows for writing songs? You have 2 albums out right now,
Yeah.
And you're currently working on a 3rd. So, how did one different from the next?
Oh yeah, the first CD was mostly stuff I wrote when I was a teenager, and second one was mostly stuff we co-wrote. I think it evolved a lot in the songwriting, but as like, I don't. Sometimes it comes really easy, and other days I struggle to feel like I say anything that's worthwhile. I don't know. Some days we'll sit in a room with the same groove, try to come up with something, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Some days just...
The wine, right? You need
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, sometimes you just gotta take another trip to the liquor store, you know?
Sometimes
Yeah,
it
but
works,
that could
sometimes
end-
it doesn't.
Yeah, oh yeah, well yeah.
But it's got to be that right point in the liquor store. If you get too
Yeah.
much, then
Yeah.
they would
well,
just start getting mad and throwing things.
That's not good.
Well, it's kind of like that in the studio as well. You know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If you can say, yeah, we're going to go in there and we're going to bang this out, and then you go in there and you just hit a brick wall and you just, that's it, you're done, you got to give up.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for new artists or songwriters that are trying to hone their craft or work on this on their own?
Well, that's a good question because actually I'm starting to work with an artist that we kind of... She's just releasing a CD. She's 14.
Mm-hmm.
That was our student, and I'm trying to help her like get it out. And
Cool.
tips, I just think that you have to love it and put 100% into it. You can't just want to do it one day and not the other day because there's no half-assing.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not. Our student, she was the only one out of like, how many students do you have?
Probably ever? Yeah. She was probably the only one who really took it.
The
to
only one
yeah.
that was like, I want to do this. And we were like, okay. We went
Yeah.
into the studio and, recorded her album. And now I'm trying to like build up a hype for her online so she
Cool.
can release it. And
Well, who is this? We can help.
Yeah.
her name's Lily Ann Ritchie. And
Great.
she's kind of like a Christian pop artist. And she
All right.
writes beautiful songs. We started working with her in songwriting, and then she kind of took it to her other level. She surpassed what we could teach her.
Ah,
That's cool. Well, we'll keep our ears open for her. What's some of your favorite songs or your artists, Pat? What are you listening to these days?
That's a really tough question because I'm a music fan and I'm a fan of all kinds of music. So that is one of the most difficult questions. I mean, someone asked me the other day, like, what is your top 10, desert island discs, I don't know. It took me a while. They started popping into my head a little bit, but a lot of it probably has to do with maybe like classic rock. Maybe starting with that stuff.
are you excited about the Wall re-release?
Really? Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I love that one. I love it. And I have it on vinyl. That's definitely. Yeah, I guess I am kind of psyched about that.
Pat's very eclectic. He listens to like jazz and then rock and then old school rap
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a huge Ice Cube fan.
and then
definitely.
blues.
Yeah, only about 10 minutes. So, so.
Little bits and pieces.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the same way, but maybe not as extreme. I like all different stuff, but you should see his music collection. His vinyl collection alone. He's got like old like hippie music, and then
Lots of folk stuff. Definitely. A lot of 70s stuff.
What about you, Eryn? What are you listening to these days?
I kind of go through phases. Right now, I'm really trying to concentrate on Jimi Hendrix.
That's a good phase. That's a good phase to be in.
I am. I'm like trying to learn a lot of his music. So
What do you think about his vocals?
he does it.
Yeah. He just makes it happen.
He makes it happen.
Yeah.
I like his phrasing, and
It is kind of cool. Yeah, he's got a very distinctive way
Yeah.
of singing.
I love like the part for me of Jimmy that I really like is his lyrics.
Mhm.
I mean, his guitar playing is amazing, of course, but his lyrics for me, I'm like, what is it? Tomorrow the streetlights are turning blue. I'm like, what is that lyric?
I don't know. It depends on what he was taking at the time, too, probably.
And then he says, I'm sweeping up the dreams of yesterday's something. I can't quote it exactly, but I'm like, that is an amazing line.
Yeah.
I need to like break some of that down and put it into my music. But no, usually I listen to like a lot of big vocalists, like Aretha Franklin, Etta James, stuff like that.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the song. You guys actually won a contest with us. God knows how long ago that was, but we finally got our stars to align and had you guys come in, and we recorded A Boy Like You. Why don't you tell us how that song was created?
Okay. Well, how do I start with this? There was this guy who was in a band who kind of wrote me a poem, and in it, it said, I could love a girl like you, and it kind of inspired me to write this whole story about a girl meeting a guy that's like in a band on tour, and they kind of like having a connection, but it can never happen because he's gonna go away on his tour and, you know, go back to his life and she'll go back to her life. So that's kind of what inspired the lyrics.
Cool.
Of that.
And how did the music come about? Did you do it all at the same time, or?
No, actually, I had the lyrics kicking around for a while, and then I sent it over to my friend Alice Leon. She's another local artist, and she kind of put some melodies down on the piano, and then she gave that to us, which gave it to Pat, and then Pat took that and created that beautiful guitar work based on just what we, like the simple piano and vocal thing. And I don't know, we just kind of made it into what it is, and playing it through the years. It's not that old of a song, but it just kind of evolved into what it is now.
Great. Cool. Where can we find the song? Is it out now?
Yeah, on my website, you can buy the song off of ErynShewell.com, or you can get it on CD Baby, which I think is, there's actually a link for it, cdbaby.com/ErynShewell3, because it's our third release.
Oh, okay.
And iTunes, and I think Amazon, and a bunch of other places on
Google it, you'll find it. Boy Like You. Eryn Shewell, Pat Rue from Firedog Studios. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys soon.